profit sharing tree. We're going to develop your plan for profit sharing, figure out why you want to profit share. We're going to talk a little bit about how it works. We can do some extra work on that if you'd like. Then we're going to build your tree, build your plan, and then hopefully you'll have some ahas at the end, right? So let's get started. Ultimately, what do you want to achieve through profit sharing? If we, at the end of this, if you were to grade me on a scale of 1 to 10, and I was to, what is it that you'd want us to achieve today?
I guess the roadmap to a higher success rate of having that enough passive income where if you needed to take a month off, you'd be okay.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
What else? That's one. Anything else?
To me, just the knowledge how to use, because we have so much things in KW, tools and technology and so many ways to grow our business, and that's definitely a big part of it. And I really like to get a lot of information because it will be awesome to take a month off or to just have an extra income.
So what would you do with the month off?
I mean, with a month off, it doesn't have to be not working, it's just the flexibility you have, that you don't have to be running all the time.
Yeah, but if you had a month off, what would you do?
I mean, at this point, I will be, honestly, if I'll be buying a house, I'll be working in the house, trying to fix it up and stuff like that.
And know that you're going to get paid that month.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think for me, once I achieve that level,
What level is that?
the kind of level where you have enough income to do what you need to do and still have some fun, and not go to the office every day and make 1,000 calls a month, would be get an RV or have the RV already, but go RVing in the U.S. with my husband, like to like Yellowstone or something to that effect, because driving takes long.
Because sometimes it doesn't need to replace your income, but would you want to live in Yellowstone for the rest of your life?
No.
So you just want to go there. How long would it take to go to Yellowstone and come back?
An RV, I don't know, 4 or 5 days to get there.
Okay.
4 or 5
So
days
if you were to
back.
take 2 or 3, so if you had enough in the course of a 12-month period of time to pay for 1 month all your expenses, then you could go to and pay for the trip, then you could go to Yellowstone, right? So, because ultimately, it's why you want to do it that you have to understand first before you're actually going to use the tool.
Right. To do things of that nature, and then with what you just told me, I mean, to be that large, I mean, wow, that's life changing for other people, which would be something, I would aspire to do. Right?
So as we go through this, I don't know why the page numbers are cut off, but it's going to run through your page numbers. So here's what you'll need. First of all, you need to know how to build your passive income, which is what you said. I want to know how to. So we're actually going to talk about that. And then you said you wanted a roadmap, which is sort of have a plan in place to activate it. So you actually, the 2 things you really wanted to do today are what we're actually going to discuss today.
Sweet.
So good for that. I'm glad to know that we're on the right step. Why profit share? It's a neat program. In fact, we call it the gift of profit sharing, because imagine that you were an investor in a business. That's truly where you get the profit share. But when you're an investor in the business, you also get to share in the what? You get to share in the profits, but what else do you get to share in if you're an investor in the business? Responsibilities. What else?
So investment. So
how about the losses? You get to share in the losses too, right? What's so neat about this is you get to share in the profits. You don't necessarily have to share in the losses. Not that there are losses, but you're totally insulated from that. So you actually have 0 risk. How much did you invest to get the franchise up and running? Do you remember?
Myself, like 212. Well,
actually, no. That's not to get the franchise up and running. Did you invest anything to get the franchise?
No.
Did I come to you and say, hey, I need a loan?
No.
Or did I say, hey, do you want to buy into a franchise?
No.
So you're actually going to profit share from something with 0 investment. It's pretty neat. It's a good return on your investment, right? So the other side of it is that when we profit share, we work together. Isn't that part of our Y4C2Ts? What's one of the T's?
Second.
You first time you've heard about the
No, the
Y4C2T, so
Y4C2Ts,
win-win
it's,
or no deal.
Well, no deal, okay.
Integrity, do the right thing. Like you know we're gonna do Wednesday. We're gonna have a contest to see who knows what the Y4C2Ts are. Win-win or no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. There are 4 C's. Customer always comes first. Commitments in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. And creativity, ideas before results. Those are the 4 C's. There are 2 T's. 1 T is called teamwork. Because we truly believe, and that's what's on the screen, together everyone achieves more. We work as a team, right? And the second T is trust. Trust begins with honesty. There are 2 parts of our profit sharing, 3 parts of the Y4C2T that our profit sharing system touches. First of all, it's actually 4 parts. First of all, it's win-win. You win when the office market center wins and you decide to participate in profit sharing, you win. So it's a win-win. Second thing is it's teamwork. Together everyone accomplishes more. Trust begins with honesty, and then what we do is we're honest, so we post our financials every month, so you can see we're open book. So that touches trust begins with honesty, and then ultimately success through others. I can't be successful, Mark can't be successful unless we're all successful. And if we're all successful, then we all benefit. So isn't it neat that what we actually say we're going to do and what our actions are truly mirrored through the Y4C2Ts. So profit sharing is a win-win because as the market center profits, you profit. And we're going to show you how you can actually become part of the 100% Club. So it's absolutely passive income. That's one of the neat things about profit sharing is passive income means there's no financial risk, no legal risk, no down payment, no phone calls. It's awesome. Now, this has nothing to do with your production. So how do we take advantage of this awesome, almost sounds too good to be true opportunity? So, passive income, money you receive without actively doing anything. There are a couple of industries that are great on passive income. One of them is the music industry. So Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, a lot of these big stars die with inordinate debt over their heads. And do you know why? Because even after they pass away, their songs live on. And people who purchase their songs and record their songs have to pay. And they're almost worth more dead than alive. They're actually worth more forever because their songs keep on going, which is why banks tend to lend them all this money and they die in debt. And unfortunately die too soon. So someone who writes a book, an author has passive income. He writes the book one time and every time that book sells, he makes a residual on it. This is great. You're going to do one thing and for the rest of your life and through a willable income, you're going to get rewarded on that one thing that you're going to do. You're going to see how pretty simple it is. And that's what's so neat about passive income. How does profit share compare? So let's talk about our goals. One of the neat part about profit sharing, Gary Keller says we need different sources of income. Our goal is to have 5 different sources of income. So your business is one source of income, your agent business. The second source is profit sharing. It can be a business in and of itself. And so we talk about the CGI. Are you familiar with this? We track our appointments and we track our appointments to our listings. We track our listings to our closings and our closings to profit. Well, what if we could actually create a plan so that as we do this and profit, we become a part of the 100% Club. The 100% Club is really simple. You're going to make more in profit sharing than you pay to the market center every year in your cap. Wouldn't that be neat? So you can actually earn more than the commission split that you pay. I'm going to show you how you can do that and how easy it is to do it. It is simple. So how does it work? First thing, an associate joins the market center and names you as the reason they're here. What's so important about that? Because birds of a feather do what?
Flock
together.
So if we have great agents in the market center, who are they going to attract? Other great agents. And so we want agents who mirror our Y4C2Ts. Remember that thing that you just wrote down? So especially agents with integrity and agents who are professional. And if we're acting that way, we're going to attract other agents like that. And as we attract those agents and they come in and they say, we're here because of you, that agent joins our market center and they produce company dollar. How do you produce company dollar? You earn a commission. You sell something and earn a commission and go through the split, and then you've now produced company dollar. That's the 30% portion that you pay before you cap. So the associate names you, they earn a commission and produce company dollar, and the market center is profitable. When those three things happen in a given month, the 21st of the following month, the market center its profit is automatically deposited in your account. Do you know how much my first profit sharing check was?
3 cents.
No, it was more than that. It's actually less than $10. I didn't quite get 10. I will tell you it's a lot more than $10 today. And it's not because most of my profit sharing comes from outside of our market centers, which is pretty neat. So on the 21st of the following month, all of a sudden you'll be balancing your checkbook and you'll wonder why there's more money in the account than you thought there was. And you have to figure out, they deposited. So it becomes one of the favorite days of the month will be the 21st of the month. What's neat is after 3 years and a day, you vest. What's important about vesting? Vesting means that no matter what happens, you leave the company, you always get it.
Oh.
So theoretically, you could go across the road and compete and still profit share. And so it's pretty neat. God forbid you pass away, you automatically vest, and it becomes income stream you can will to your beneficiaries. So we've known people who willed it to their next door neighbor there's an older gentleman who willed it to his next door neighbor, and they had young kids, and he willed it for their college education. Families have willed it to their children and to their spouses and significant others. But one of the neat things that happen is usually this profit sharing check comes in at about a time when you need it the most. And you'll find that, ironically enough, I don't know why it happens that way. I think it's the way God works sometimes, is that check comes in that month you really needed it. It will surprise you. Well, there's also gross share. So you'll hear about profit share, and profit share is just that. The company has to make a profit. Well, when we talk about global, we don't have some of the same controls, so it's growth share. And growth share means it comes off the top. So if you know people in other countries like France, you know anybody in France, as they produce growth share, and so you will get a portion. Growth share grows a lot faster than can grow a lot faster than profit sharing can. Because it's the associates who are grown outside of the United States and Canada. So right now, I think we're in about 24 countries around the world. We're obviously heavily vested in KW France, but anywhere that you would have through the Caribbean, through South America, in the Far East, all through Europe and the Middle East, there are opportunities for you to share. The first was South Africa, out of all places. So, and associates who participate, a portion of their region's bottom line comes to you, the agent. So how does a tree grow? Well, when you first joined Keller Williams, we asked you the question, who is the reason why you're here? And you gave us a name. Well, that person now becomes your sponsor. They're the reason that you're here. And your sponsor obviously had to go through the same thing, and your sponsor has a sponsor. And I don't know how far back you guys can trace it, but we'll maybe do a test. Do you know how far back you could trace your lineage or your tree?
I know, and Carolyn, I think you are Carolyn's sponsor.
Mimi.
I am. So it goes Shalene, then Carolyn, then Andrew, then Ramona, then Bonnie, then Mimi. How far back is that?
6 or 7.
Not quite
No, that's fine.
5. So there's 2 more that we need to look at my profit sharing report the next time it comes out and remember those names. But when your profit sharing report comes out, you'll see the names of the people who are in your profit sharing tree. And what's
I feel
neat,
special now because you're in my lineage.
yeah. So how far back can you trace your tree? Interestingly enough, you'll realize that your tree goes out of your market center pretty quickly. One or two people and it's in somebody else's market center. So what's pretty neat is how fast it grows and where it grows to. So how do you build your tree? You know, you name somebody as your sponsor, but when somebody joins and says the reason I'm here is because of you, then you've now started your tree. And that they now become your first level. We're going to talk about what your first level means in just a bit. And as they share the idea, referring to Keller Williams, that becomes their first level and your second level. And so on and so forth, and we actually go out 7 levels. However, the first thing you want to do is focus on your first level. So how successful do you want to be on a scale of 1 to 10 with profit sharing? 10 being very successful.
10.
So do you want a doable plan or do you want an unrealistic plan? Okay. So if you could share and refer a name to a team leader, could you do that?
Mm-hmm.
And could you maybe, you could try? Is that?
No, I said which I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if you do that and your goal should be, I'm going to give you a goal. The low bar goal should be to have 3 people a year say I'm here because of you. The standard we talk about is having 5 people per year, and in 3 years you'll have 15. We want you to get 15 in your first level as fast as possible. Over time, those levels will grow. Those will tell others who tell others who tell others. So focus on your first level and get to 15 wide as fast as you can. So you want to share. So if I want to have 15 people join Keller Williams and say that I'm the reason they're joining, how many names would I have to give my team leader? At least how many names? It's not a trick question. So if I want 15, I'd have to make sure I at least give them 15, right? So we're going to talk about how to do that. Chances are not everybody's a match for our company, so maybe I want to give them more than 15, right? So we're going to talk about that too. So how do we do this, and how does this thing work? So most of the times people say, is it too late to build a large tree? Actually, it's not. Some of the largest profit sharing earners in our company were not here in the beginning. They just created a focused effort to make it part of their business, and they created a business plan around it. In fact, there's a mega agent in Tampa today who every Friday afternoon, instead of lead generating for his business, he takes an hour and lead generates for his profit sharing. So we know that in bold, we learned that if it's not in our schedule, it
Doesn't exist.
So he puts it in the schedule, and on Friday morning, that's his lead generation time for his profit sharing. And so the opportunity is awesome right now. It's a great time. Keller Williams is the #1 company in agent count, #1 company in volume, and #1 company in unit sales. And isn't it true that everybody wants to be with #1? So not only do our buyers and sellers impressed by that and want to be a part of that success, but agents in the area want to do that too. So picture what your tree would look like when you're growing. And in your books, I want you to look at this chart and maybe you start to put some names down. Who is it that you would want to be in business with? To take a minute and just go through that, and don't stop at 5. Get to 15. Get to 20. Agents who you're doing business with, who you appreciate the way they're doing business. If you say, man, you're doing an awesome job. Do you mind if my team leader gives you a call to thank you for your professionalism? Is that a hard thing to do? And the only other thing you would say is just promise me you're going to take his call. And all he's doing is calling to thank you. That's it. Because what we wanted to make sure is that we realize that not everybody's a match for every company. Is that fair?
Yeah.
And until you meet someone, you don't know if they're a match for your company. And we don't know if we're a match for them. So there's no pressure. So what would profit sharing do for you and your family? We talked about that a little bit. We talked about the ability to travel. How about just the lack of stress? a little extra coming in, going into a savings account, that if something happened on a rainy day. We have an agent in one of our market centers that was new to profit sharing and had a family vacation. It's not really a vacation, it was a family emergency that popped up. They had to go travel up north to the family emergency. And most emergencies, they don't happen financially at the most opportune times. And they had to stretch to go. And on the way back, they had issues with travel. It was almost like planes, trains, and automobiles. And on the way back, the flight got canceled. They had to get back. They rented a car. The car ran over something in the road. Next thing you know, it was an extra $600 that they didn't have. Guess what her profit sharing check was on the 21st of that month? $600. It was an amazing sight to see, that amazing experience to watch that happen, and just to see the relief on the face of a need that got filled immediately. Sometimes it's just over time. You have it go into a savings account. Next thing you know, there's $2,000 extra, or $3,000 extra, or $10,000 extra in that savings account. And you say, wow, I didn't realize that was there. It adds up pretty quickly. And you put it in there and forget it, because you don't necessarily, unless you look for it, you don't see the profit sharing checks going in. So what else would it do for you other than travel? What else would it do for you and your family?
It would open up some doors you wouldn't necessarily be able to consider. Like what you said that one agent does, where she gives back, what, 20% you said?
Yeah, she gives 20% of KW Cares.
Or to be able to do something like help that lady out from the news I saw last night.
Yeah.
Just do it, and not even, and honestly, just secure.
One of my goals one year is to be a secret Santa. You know, the policemen, they go and hand out a $100 bill instead of giving them a ticket. So if it ever happens, it's not me. So, you talk about what you could do for someone in need, and that's great, because that's probably more gratifying than doing stuff for yourself. It's a close second.
Or animals in need.
So how will you build your tree? Well, there are three things you do. First thing you want to do is, like anything we do with our customers or clients, we want to relate to others. How to Win Friends and Influence People talks about the way to relate through form, talking to people about their family, occupation, recreation, and message or dreams. It's a great way to relate. And then ultimately refer. We'll talk about that. And then the team leader does all the work. And we'll see how they do that. So who would you relate to? Well, quite frankly, nearly everyone. Not everyone, but nearly everyone. Other agents you do deals with, past clients or people. I have past clients today. Marie in our market center is a past client of mine. And one of the things that you'll find is, as you become more proficient, everyone thinks real estate's easy, right? And as you become more proficient, you make it look easy. It's like the gymnast when you're watching the ice skating in the Olympics or the gymnasts.
I can do that.
I can do that. I can do that.
I can fly.
Until you try and you realize it's really not as easy as they make it look. Well, isn't that true about our industry? When you get proficient in it and you become unconsciously competent, other people think it's easy. And someone taught me that or reminded me that it's actually one of the biggest compliments your clients can give you when they join our profession, because it was either hopefully a positive experience and you made it look easy, or it was a negative experience. They figured he or she can do it, I can do it.
I can do it better.
I can do it better. So your past clients, people you come in contact with. We've come in contact with people in restaurants that we have asked, hey, have you ever thought about being in the real estate business? It is the greatest business in the world. Where else can you get into business, make a six-figure income with a 1-week course, make an investment of $2,000 and earn a six-figure income, and nobody can put a glass ceiling over your head? Isn't it awesome?
Mr. Barber, there's a Mark Wall saying hello.
Hey Mark, how are you? Inspector Mark Wall.
I have a question about that, because there's a couple people I know that would probably only wanna be on the referral side as an agent, like if they were to get the license,
Yeah.
they don't wanna be actively, how does that fall into,
So we have a referral company,
okay,
and anyone who's in any one of our companies, either administratively or in our referral company, can qualify for profit share. Or they
Okay.
too can qualify for profit sharing.
okay.
And you never know who they're gonna lead you to. So where do you find people to build relationships with?
Everywhere.
Your sphere, the grocery
Exactly.
store,
Doctor's office.
So what are the,
the profit share calls.
so where would you find someone who is, one of the things we wanna do is an agent who produces company dollar. There's three things that have to happen for us to profit share. The first thing is to refer someone in, so that's in our control. The second thing is the agent has to do something that produces company dollar, which means they have to sell something. So how can I guarantee an agent that comes into the office is gonna sell something?
Invite them to lead generation 3612.
That's a great idea, but not everybody in lead generation 3612-3 sells something. Some people actually attend and don't do anything with it. So how else do you think we could do to actually get somebody to sell something? Make sure they're gonna sell something when they come in.
Give them a solid lead.
Okay, that's one, but every once in a while, they don't know what to do, so they waste the lead. So we're now guaranteeing that when that person walks through the door, training, that helps, but is it gonna guarantee? There are people who we train that don't sell anything sometimes because they don't do the work. We encourage and they still don't do the work. In fact, we, come on, you can do it. And they just sit there and look
Talk
at us.
to them, offer your support.
Those are all great ideas, but you know what? The one way we can guarantee somebody's gonna sell something when they come in this office
Tell us.
is if they're selling something before they get into this office. So if I speak to somebody who's doing 20, 30, 40 transactions a year, do you think when they come into the market center, they're gonna sell something? You bet. I can guarantee you they're gonna sell something. And how do we help that person? The key is how do we help them? So as you build a relationship with them, usually it's either time or money. They're either stressed with money, just because they're making a lot of sales doesn't mean they're making a lot of money. There's a difference between gross commission income and profit. And the other thing is time. There's some top agents who are doing very well but don't have time, so it's one of the two, or both.
So what do you mean, they making a lot of sales but not making enough money?
So if I'm earning $1 million a year, but I'm paying $1 million in expenses to get that business, what's my business making?
Zero.
There's a difference between gross commission income, $1 million, and profit.
Right.
So a lot of our agents talk in gross commission income. Very frequently, top producers are walking off stage broke because they're not profiting. And that's part of our proposition, our value proposition is not only do we want to teach you how to earn, but we want to teach you how to keep. And that's why we play red light, green light, have a budget model and other things that we can do. So what do you say? You start up a conversation, you set up a time to meet, you look for opportunities to help, but ultimately you refer them to your team leader. The best script is, it's been a pleasure to work with you. Do you mind if my team leader calls to thank you? And no matter what they say, we're not calling to recruit them. He's literally just calling them to thank them for their professionalism and get to know them. Because they may or may not be a match for a market center, right? So when you start the conversation, have you, in the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, there's forward. So if you don't know someone, there's a pattern of family, occupation, recreation, message, or dreams. Everybody has their families that, you know, you can learn about their family, where they're from. You can learn about how they got into the real estate business and what their business looks like, what they like to do and recreationally and what their dreams are. It's a great way to get to know someone. And then ask them for input and their expertise. Mastermind with them, because it's about helping one another. It's about coming from contribution. When you set up a time, you keep the relationship. First and foremost, it's just an opportunity to build that relationship. We're not trying to recruit people into anything. We're trying to first ultimately build a relationship with them, because that's the first thing we want to do. Call the people you listed, compliment them, ask them for their expertise, compliment them if they're doing well, share some of, and maybe you get together to share some of our successes, and you can exchange ideas when you meet. Write down what happens and share your results. And that's a good activity to have. We're not going to do that right now, but that's a great activity for you to do. When you're working with someone, get to know them, share your insights, you want to support them. It's very unusual for agents to support one another. A lot of times we tend to hold things close to our vest. One of the things that a mindset that we embrace is coming from contribution. And we have an attitude of abundance and not one of scarcity. And I always like to think my sister loved M&M's growing up. And when she got the travel bag, the little thing you get out of the dispensers, when it came time to enjoy that bag, well, it was only about 10 M&M's in there, and therefore, do you think you got an M&M? You had to beg and plead. And she would share with us. But when she had a 1 pound bag, you got to take as much as you want, because she had an abundant supply. And many times we don't think the abundance that we have, but we come from abundance, and so we love to share, and it's unusual for people. Ask them about themselves, which we talked about, and then share our business tools. 30% of the people who attend our training events are not with Keller Williams. And that's every training event just about that we have, whether it be regionally, nationally, 30% of the people are not with Keller Williams. And be open to outcomes. It's not about trying to convince anybody to do anything. There are agents who I've been in a relationship for 12 years, and they may or may never join Keller Williams, but at least we've built a great relationship. And over time, it enriches the relationship. Come from contribution. What are some things that we could contribute to a fellow agent? Our CGI consulting session, you can offer that. Mark will be happy to sit down and go over them. The CGI flyer, just the concept of understanding how you can run your business with 4 conversations. People on other companies are not talking about that. And if you can just help somebody realize that, it's an amazing insight to them. You can share insights from your team meeting, your trend reports. When you see that their business is up by 11%, it'd be great to get to know what they're doing well, because our business may be up by 31%. And so you can share ideas. It's not about getting information from them, but exchange of ideas. The GPS worksheet, your 411. The one thing is probably one of the greatest all-around books that we can offer. And I actually bought a copy for every one of my nieces and nephews. It is such a life-changing book. So is a millionaire real estate agent, a millionaire real estate investor, and Shift for that matter, but those are so real estate, those are business-oriented, where the one thing is all-encompassing lifestyle-oriented. So this is just some great opportunities, just 10 things that you can offer, one of the 10 things you can offer when you meet someone. So what else could you offer to come from contribution? What are some things that you could do? What would you want someone to do for you if they were to help you in your business? Referrals. They can't handle all their business, so they think of you. So you would probably think of them also, maybe. They have a specialty that you don't have. Maybe it's a commercial or a unique specialty. Anything else? We can think about that. So how do you refer them to a team leader? This is a great script that's in your book. I love doing transactions with you. You're awesome. I told my team leader just the other day how great you are. He'll be calling you to thank you for the way you do business. Will you promise to take his call? That's pretty easy. And Mark's goal is not to do anything but just thank them and get to know them. And so that's all that it's about. So how does a team leader receive referrals? Well, he does it in a number of different ways. But just to clarify, you're not recruiting. We don't want you out there as recruiters. We just simply want you to identify folks that you enjoy doing business with. He's going to tell them that he doesn't intend to recruit them. And just wanted to thank them for their business. Don't be disappointed that they're not trying. Some of them are disappointed if they're not trying to be recruited. We have a tool, they have a link to, what's the name of that program?
On task.
On Task.
Yep.
Where you can send Mark a name, and then he'll follow up with that, and that follow-up program stays with you, so you'll know whenever he's spoken to them and met with them.
Now is that on KW Connect?
I sent everybody the link.
No, it's not on KW.
It's not on KW Connect. No.
Okay.
I sent everybody. I emailed everybody the link. If you don't have it, I can resend it again.
Please.
Yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
see that.
We can put it on the internet.
Yes.
Mm.
So here's what we don't want you to say. Now, you may think it, but don't say it. Don't say something negative about someone else's company. It's not professional, and it's not ethical. Don't say anything negative about someone else's broker. Don't say anything negative about what you think they might be experiencing. My mom taught me if I don't have anything good to say,
Don't say anything.
don't say it. So you just don't say anything negative. And that's, role playing is always good and will help you to get comfortable with the topic.
We do those on Mondays for our power up.
Monday Power Up,
Mm-hmm.
I
profit
love
sharing.
doing
Profit
those.
sharing.
So you can connect with agents on social media. You can give them a call, give them an invite. We just had our FES class that comes in. That is high-level education that they're not going to get anywhere else. And I encourage you, if when we have one of those FES classes, to use that as leverage to build your relationship, and also the training that happens in our market center. And then through On Task, you can track when Mark follows up with them. So we talked a little bit about this. So you need to decide what activities are you going to do regularly. Consistency compounds. Inconsistency compounds. So if consistency compounds, doing a little bit every day is more important than doing a lot one day and then getting a break and doing a lot and then getting a break. So even if it's just 1 hour a week to reach out to agents who you're in the business with will help you stay on track. We know that if it's not in our schedule, it doesn't exist. So did we give you a roadmap on how to engage and learn in profit sharing? Yes.
Yes.
And do you actually know how this, you may not know the numbers side of it, but do you know how it works? What you need to do to make it work?
Mm-hmm.
So we accomplished the 2 things we needed to, that will help you grow your business. And that completes the course. But thanks for taking the time to sit and listen to and be a part of the gift of profit sharing. The neat part of it is I look at it from a business standpoint. And if I make $1, it's $1 or a penny more than I invested. So as you think about how many other brokerages out there is the owner sharing even a penny with you. And not only is this market center, but every market center in the Keller Williams system wants to share with you. And as you begin to experience the gift of profit sharing, you'll get more and more excited about it. So I encourage you to take advantage of it and not waste the opportunity. Do you know how much we profit shared? Our total profit sharing in 2012, remember, do you know how much that was? $32 million.
In the United States or global?
Well, we weren't global, so yes, global. In the entire company, $32 million. Do you know how much we profit shared last month, Keller International? $22 million.
Goodness. Wow.
We profit shared almost as much in 1 month as we profit shared
The whole
in the
year.
entire year in
That's big.
2012.
Huh.
Is there money in profit sharing? Yes. Is it real? You can believe me, yes. What's the date today? Today
June
is
12th.
the 12th. 9 more days, and we'll find out. So I encourage you, it is real, it is awesome,
Huh.
and what's even more awesome is when you touch the lives of the folks that you're working with, because it's not about the money, it's about changing lives. And this not only will change your life, but being a part of a culture and an opportunity for them will change their life. So Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Give him a round of applause.
You get a triple ping.
Triple ping.
Question number one, if an agent was with KW, left KW, then they came back.
9
I
months.
have it, 9 months, okay.
And
So-
it is supposed to be the same sponsor.
So will they go back to the same sponsor?